Hey everyone, Harry here to talk about the release of the big July 2021 audio tape of Trump at Bedminster brandishing something, what he claims is a classified document that was given to him by the chair of the Joint Chiefs of Staff for plans to attack Iran. Just let that settle in for a second. So, whether true or not, actually, here's the first big point to note about it. We had learned in the last few weeks that there was a little bit of resistance, especially within the FBI, about whether to serve the search warrant, to whether to search Trump's premises when they actually executed the search warrant. There were those who advocated kind of forcefully, former president, let's be cooperative, let's just go in, etc. And we had learned that this July 2021 tape had been pivotal in pushing the department to a decision, let's do a search warrant. We now can see why. So, by the way, it's 2 minutes long. We'll have a link to it in this, in this tape, but it's really worth listening to. I'll return to that in a moment. But anyway, so he's brandishing something. He now said on Fox News, there wasn't a document here. It was just magazine articles. But I mean, he's very clearly saying, look at this. It's a classified document, and I wish I could declassify, but I can't anymore. It is plans from the Joint Chiefs of Staff for attacking Iran. Here you go. And he's showing it to people or brandishing, whatever he's brandishing. It's to people with no security clearance. They're the flacks who are there to help put together the Mark Meadows memoir that apparently is not going to be penned exactly by Mark Meadows, but that's a whole different point. So you're DOJ or the FBI, you're sitting there listening to that, even if, because some people are pointing out, we still don't know for certain what it was, even if you don't know for sure. It's sure sounding like, give that to me, and he's pointing out something. It's sure sounding like it is what he describes. But when you have the former president asserting, I've got plans here from the Joint Chiefs of Staff for a battle blueprint against arch adversary Iran, that's it. You got to go. You must have that document. You cannot trust him to just hand it over nicely if he has that, especially if you listen to the tape, his cavalier attitude about it. So point one to make is that we now understand why it was pivotal in the decision to actually serve a search warrant. Okay. Point two. As I say, it's not certain. And in fact, if they really had, I think there were a few people in the room, and I think they've been put in the grand jury. Somebody with Trump who always was taping. So much of the evidence here is from Trump's own mouth and kind of shades of Richard Nixon taping when he didn't need to. But they will have those witnesses in the grand jury, and they can ask, or they already have, and they can ask in front of a jury. Okay, so you saw he grabbed papers, right? Or he asked for them at a certain point, right? And did you see a red marking said classified or documented? And they'll say yes or no. Now, if they say yes, and that stands to reason. So now we're down to the possibility that it's another classified document, but they'll set the stage for what happened. Will the witnesses? They're pro-Trump people, right? His assistant Liz Harrington, and I think Walt Nauta the guy at the end who brings the cokes. That's his job description, and maybe the documents themselves, and then the woman who's taping, etc. So, but we'll they'll put that in context, and then of course they'll play the tape, and that's number two. Nothing like an audio tape. We talked about this with Brad Raffensperger, but You should, well, we've got the link up, listen to it. So what comes through screamingly, even if he's making it all up, is what a total dirtbag he is in terms of his utter indifference to, we're talking about, green kryptonite. Maybe I'm dating myself too much. Just radio. It's plutonium. Well, can you imagine more close hold? A supposed battle plan drawn up by the Joint Chiefs of Staff for how to attack Iran. And as I say, even if he's faking, you hear that audio tape and he's just, completely grabbing at it. Why? Because there's a report in the Wall Street Journal suggesting that Mark Milley, the chair of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, said that Trump, was doing something like this. So he wanted to say in classic Trumpian fashion, oh no. And not only that, it was the other guy who was doing it. So, to hear this on tape, and maybe the most nauseating and offensive part, when he talks about it, this is top secret, confidential, there are guffaws. He's laughing. He's making jokes about Anthony Weiner and Hillary Clinton. His assistants are laughing. It is literally a matter of like a joke to him that he's got this top secret document for, the most sensitive subject matter imaginable. So the audio tape will be killer because it will show his overall attitude. It'll also be killer because it will put another, maybe it's a dead horse, but put another bullet in that dead horse as to his general defense, which is everything he took was automatically classified, declassified by an abracadabra motion maybe in his head. That's not true, and more, of course, it was never true. But it's clear he knows it's not true. He's saying, "Oh, I didn't declassify this one. I wish I had. It's too late, etc." So that blows that out of the water. And just in general, it's no matter again what the piece of paper is, it's the 10th or 12th shifting explanation by Trump, and that just shows he's completely untrustworthy. They'll all come in as much as the DOJ wants to. Every statement of Trump is admissible under the rules of evidence. Oh, and how are they going to rebut it? Who's going to be there to say, oh, actually, it was just pieces of paper? Axiom number one, Donald Trump cannot testify. So it is really unclear who even could make the defense for him. So that's generally point number two. Even though it's stuff we sort of knew, indeed, there's a large quote from it in the indictment, paragraph 6A. Nothing like an audio tape, and there are other audio tapes we know because they've been turned over to Trump, including, by the way, little aside, but a maybe preview of somewhere of a future, but near future discussion. Brad Raffensperger, that tape, they are now calling him to the grand jury. Are the feds for the January 6th investigation? He's the Florida Secretary of State who taped the call with Trump saying, "I just need 11,780 votes." All right. Third thing about this tape, a lot of people are saying it's the most sort of sensational ever, final. It makes it beyond any doubt. It's important for the reasons I've said, but what it really would be getting at is that he took classified material and disseminated it. That's a whole nother very, very serious step. That's like, why the Rosenbergs were executed. That's why Robert Hansen got a life sentence, the FBI rogue agent. And it's not clear to me. In fact, my best surmise is they don't have that case beyond a reasonable doubt, or they would have brought it. So my suspicion of what's going on is he waves it around and says what it is. Maybe it's even a sheaf or a folder envelope that says classified, but that the people in the room could not attest that they read the contents. It was clearly classified. And because if they had, that would be a dissemination charge. So I think rather it is in the indictment and important in the indictment as a general sort of atmosphere of his complete cavalier attitude and total, self-centeredness and immaturity with respect to classified documents, and that he's certainly capable of disseminating. And that's a thing to know about him and a fair thing for the DOJ to prove. But if, a lot of speculation, will we now see a separate Bedminster, New Jersey case? At least from what we know now, I don't think it's there yet, because they would have brought it. So my best guess is they don't have dissemination. Even so, it's an important tape for all the reasons I said, and it has figured deeply in the investigation, and it will figure crucially at trial. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.